Alright, what's up traders? So Bitcoin is looking extremely bullish. Let's just jump right into the charts and take a look. Alright, so Bitcoin, it's looking extremely bullish right here, and we're gonna start off by taking a look at BTC USDT on Binance here. And before I start, I want to give a huge shout out and a big thank you to Prime XBT for sponsoring me on this channel. As some of you might know, I'm trading a lot of forex pairs too, and I do all my forex tradings on the Prime XBT exchange. If you're interested in creating an account and trying out the forex market with by using your BTC as collateral, definitely check out the link in the description below. And if you use that link, you can also use the bonus code, which is LIBS42 bonus, and it will give you a 50% increase on your first deposit. Alright, so we're going to start off by taking a look at Bitcoin versus the US dollar here on Binance on the weekly. So obviously, like, there's no one can really argue with the fact that Bitcoin is looking quite bullish right here. What you guys need to remember that we are still trading inside the daily range right here. So whatever happens, I mean, unless we get a breakout out of range high or a breakdown out of range low, we're still range bound and we're still ranging on the daily time frame. So you gotta keep that in mind. You can't really get all euphoric about this move right here, even if it's very bullish. I mean, you're still ranging, and unless we get a breakdown or a breakout out of range high or range low, we're still ranging, and we're probably going to be continuing to range for quite some time. I mean, obviously we are, unless we break out, right? But looking on the weekly here, I love the fact that we got this kind of like a rounded bottom here on the weekly, looking very nice. And I love the fact that it's around this range, daily range EQ area. We got the weekly rounded retest right here. I really like that. If this weekly candle can close above the range EQ, I would actually think that Bitcoin is going to break out of this range. Now that's probably going to sound way different than my last videos have sounded, because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been quite bearish. And the only reason that I've been bearish is because of the fact that we are at high time frame resistance. We're ranging, we were below range EQ, we were losing the 21 EMA daily. And I mean, if you watch this, we have an untested 21 EMA on the weekly, we have untested 200 simple and 200 EMA on the daily. Just looking like the range low area is such a strong magnet right now. But with this move right now, you can't really be anything else than bullish, because we got this very strong move, a reclaim of the 21 EMA and the 55 EMA on the daily and range EQ. I'm going to show you here on the 4-hour time frame something that I've been watching for quite some time. And I've got a new gray box here, right? And I got a gray box here. This one you guys probably know about already. I've been talking about that one quite a lot in my videos, right? This gray box is interesting because it's the area that once broke the 4-hour uptrend right here, and once reclaimed like we got right here, we have now started a 4-hour uptrend. The reason why I've got this new gray box is up here is because the fact that this area, when we broke down, we entered this 4-hour range. So that's a very important area to reclaim. When we reclaim that area, I think it's very likely that we will see that move up to range high on a daily, which is 10K, right? And obviously this move out of the 4-hour range here, this dashed line here, these dashed white lines with the range EQ, with the range high being red and range low being green, it was looking quite bearish, right, when we had this breakdown on range EQ, but we quickly started the 4-hour uptrend, and this move right here broke, reclaimed range EQ, broke straight out of the range high. We get rejected by this gray box, which is a very important area for the reasons mentioned earlier. We had a perfect rounded retest on a 4-hour of this range high, but I wanted to see a 4-hour open and close above this gray box to long a retest. In the Bitcoin report that I posted in the Burb Nest Discord, if you're not familiar with the Burb Nest, obviously you have to check it out, and every day we release new daily Bitcoin reports, written reports in the free part of the Discord. We also do daily video reports on Bitcoin. in there too for the Nest Club members. And in that one, in the free report, I wrote that I wanted to see a retest of the 9,440 area. Now watch this, right? The low of this wick is actually, the low is 9,440.33. So pretty much perfect, picture perfect retest of that area. Watching the daily, it's also a very interesting area because it's these open and closes right here. So a very nice, beautiful rounded retest on a 4 hour. With that retest, we now have a confirmed 4 hour uptrend with this low, this high, this higher low, this higher high, a higher low, and a potential higher high too. Now for continuation, now you kind of pretty much you probably understand what I want to see for continuation here, right? I want to see this move continue to the upside, but I want to see a reclaim of this area. If we don't get a reclaim of that area, it's highly likely that we might get a rounded retest of this area on the daily. And if we fail to hold the 9,440 area, I would think that we are getting, you know, we're probably seeing a new move back down to range EQ. Now that's obviously nothing you want to see if you're a Bitcoin bull, right? Because the fact that we broke above this 9,440 area, which is the last high, swing high on daily right here, is we're now creating a new higher high on the daily. So we have moved from lower lows to a new higher high, which means that we are now back in the daily uptrend territory with higher lows and higher highs. Now if we can come down and test this area and then reclaim this area with a higher high and this area as a higher low, we have a confirmed daily uptrend, we have a confirmed daily, we have a confirmed daily uptrend, and we have a confirmed 4 hour uptrend. It's looking very, very nice for that move up to range high. And really, next time that we test the range high area, I think it's very likely that we will actually see it break, right? Also confident with this trend line right here. We're probably going to run into some resistance on this trend line, but I do think it's very likely that we are, because you know this trend line is from the all-time highs at 20k down to this high right here, and we got reacted by that one right here on our last test of 10.5k. It's a very strong trend line. It's a very strong horizontal support and resistance area. It's the 618 of the, it's a short RLC right of this whole move. So very strong area. We have tested it once, twice, 3 times. The next one is going to be 4th time. And really, honestly, the way Bitcoin is moving right now and with this momentum, if we come up and test this week or next week, I think it's going to break. And when it breaks, that's super goddamn interesting and exciting for Bitcoin. All right, that's it, guys. That's Bitcoin. Let's move on and take a look at some alts. All right, so first we're going to take a look at the BTC Dominance chart. And honestly, this is pretty crazy. This is not what I've expected. We are seeing a continuation of the altcoin window with BTC moving very bullishly. So this is actually not something that I've expected. I did expect that the BTC Dominance would rise when you had this move. But the fact that we had this move and maybe we'll see some ranging action here in a tight range, that would be extremely bullish for altcoins, considering the fact that the BTC Dominance has failed to hold this whole area. So looking at the daily, this whole gray zone here is a very, very interesting and strong support for the BTC Dominance. The fact that we have lost this one is just very interesting, right? Because we had this altcoin window right here. We started to range here, right? And we had another altcoin window here. People started calling for alt season right here. And we entered a kind of, you know, short-term range right here. And we're now breaking down, which is pretty crazy, guys. So I think alt should be performing very, very well if it comes to Bitcoin starting to range above the previous 4-hour range high, right, which is this area. So if Bitcoin can range up in this region and the BTC Dominance can continue to fall, man, we are going to see some beautiful altcoin gains. And one alt that has performed very, very well these last couple of days is Ethereum, right? So Ethereum versus Bitcoin right here. This is actually the setup that I was in, right? I gave you guys two options here, right? The first option was to have your stop loss down at this red horizontal right here at around 0.025033, and that would obviously have worked out beautifully. I did not use that level. I used this level. I used this wick right here. Now, gonna be honest with you guys, it's a very bad place to put your stop. I can't really understand, like, well, it's not super bad. I mean, it's below that swing low on the 4 hour, but looking on the daily, it's just like, why would you want to have your stop right at a support, right? This is obviously a support level right here, right? So I'm like, the reason why I'm showing you this, it's a fail from me, it's a loss, but I'm of the opinion that, like, as a trader and with this YouTube channel, I want to show you the truth about trading, the real I want to show you the setups, and I want to show you the wins, but also the losses. And really, trading is all about, you know, I want to be real with you guys. That's it. And I want to show you my losses. I'm going to show you like my thoughts of those losers. And here's the big problem here, that I ignored the daily, right? So I really ignored the daily, and if I wouldn't have ignored the daily, I would have seen that this is just a very strong daily support, and I would absolutely want to have my stop below this daily thrust candle, which is just very stupid mistake by me. This would have turned out to be a great trade. We are now below TP2 and TP3, so hopefully some of you followed me on this one and actually used a more reasonable stop down here, and you would now be in some at least 10% profit, so that's pretty good. Now I'm still watching KMD here, right? So I'm still watching this level right here, and I want to see a clean daily open and close. It seems like it doesn't really want to get up above here, but I do think that when we have a breakout, if we have a powerful breakout here, I would like to see a reaction up here and then long the retest, whatever that retest comes in. Let's add a fib to see if it's maybe it, yeah, so maybe we'll get reacted up here and we'll come down to test the 618 complement with the support there. That's what I'm watching on KMD. So let's see if we can find anything else that's interesting. Right, so here's NEOBTC. This one I've been watching, and I do really like this one. If Bitcoin can show some ranging action here, this is definitely some an alt I'm watching for a nice move here. I would like to see a break and retest of this area, a clean daily open and close above 1250 for this one. Actually, I think that's it from an altcoin perspective. I will take a look at the forex markets now, but if I find anything interesting in terms of altcoins, I will most likely make a new video tonight, and upload it later today. So I will scan the altcoin markets and see if I can find anything, any interesting setups for you guys. If I don't have the time to record a video, I will post the setup in the Bird Nest community. So let's take a look at some forex pairs. Alright, so this is a setup I'm watching on EURUSD. I think this retest right here is beautiful. It's beautiful, right? And like, it's pretty fucked up, but I want to show you something else here on this chart right here, EURUSD. Now, this is pretty insane, right? So I'm gonna remove the orders for this one. Give me a minute. All right, so I've actually entered EURUSD down here. I've sold 50% of my position at 1.1 and put my stop at entry. Now, sadly, this was nothing that I could have shared with you guys because I was out and did this on my phone. But I want to show you like the breakdown of this trade right here. So, like I showed you on the reason why I'm showing it here, because I've used this chart for my setup, but looking at this chart right here, I was looking at a breakout and retested that area, but I got some alerts on the phone and I was checking the chart on the phone, and I had my the fib drawn from, let's change this to the RLC. And you will see why I bought this, right? Like, so I've drawn the fib using this low to this high, and I saw that the green 55 exponential on the hourly was actually conflict with the RLC, the 618, and we had this just absolutely, you know, beautiful bounce right here. So I was watching the 15-minute, and as soon as this 15-minute closed right here, I entered this position right here, and this is now up quite a bit, right? So this is now a 5R trade. I've taken 50% profit. That's about 2.5. Very nice. And looking at this chart right here, we're now coming to retest this area perfectly, right? And this is the 50% level of a huge weekly move, right? So I've used the high up here to the low all the way here and found the 50% level right here, zoomed into the 4-hour, waited for a breakout, got the breakout, zoomed into the hourly. Look what we're getting right here. Perfect retest of that area right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to target the 618 all the way up here, right? It's going to be a massive trade, and I will most likely, if I see a bullish bullish pattern forming on the daily, I mean the hourly here, I will most likely add to my position here on EURUSD. Now you could also look on the the 15-minute here if this is a bullish engulfing, but I'm gonna wait for the hourly confirmation here. But absolutely for EURUSD. Alright, so here's another one I'm watching, the Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar. So I've drawn fibs using daily right here. So I've used this low down here to this high up here, which brings in the 0.382 Fibonacci level right here, right on this horizontal level. And if we zoom in, you will also see that this is also confluent with the midpoint of the RLC of this latest up move on the 4-hour by using this low down here to this high up here. It's also in perfect confluent with this red box resistance, or whatever you want to call it. It's now support, right? So we should make that one green. It's also confluent with these two, which is the 50 and the 55 EMA on the 4-hour. You also have the 21 EMA right up here. You did see a bounce right here and a reaction up here, so it's not looking super bullish, but I would like to see looking at the hourly here, I would love to see a reclaim of this high up here. That would, for me, confirm this as, confirm this bounce inside. They also check out the 200 simple and 200 EMA right here on the hourly. So very nice confluence with the RLC right here and the bigger fib levels. So I'm looking for bullish market structure on the hourly here, and I would then long this on the hourly, because looking at the the daily, this is quite nice retest of that area, right? If you look at this green box right here, the support, very nice rounded retest on the daily of that area. And if you're going up to the weekly, you will also see that it's a a strong weekly level as well, right? But obviously we are inside a very strong SR level on the weekly, like a very strong resistance area on the weekly, where we have the 200 SMA, the 200 simple moving average, confluent with the 236 level. So going down to the daily and the 4-hour, this level right here is actually also the 200 SMA on the weekly. So it's very important that this level gets reclaimed, right? So I'm looking at this, right? I'm looking at a potential entry above this area. I would then use this area as my stop loss, and I would take partial profits up here. The setup would look something like this, right? So I'm going to enter up in this region, stop below those wicks right there, and I would enter, take profits up here for 1.2 8-hour trade. See, where do we have 1-1? Yeah, so most likely taking 50% off at 1-1, moving my stop to entry, taking 25% more off at around this area, and letting the rest 25% just move with a trailing stop. All right, so gold, holy shit. I mean, what's going on here? So we had, like, if you've been watching my market updates, you know that I've been watching a breakout out of this area right here, right? So very important area to reclaim was this red box resistance. We really just pumped straight through it, right? We had some, I mean, sure, we had some nice, but it's not really a rounded retest, right? But we had a retest on hourly. Congratulations if you entered that one. You had a very nice invalidation level down here, so that's pretty nice. But right now we're actually testing highs from 2011, right? And I mean, honestly, I think we're gonna get a retrace here, so I'm going to be looking at potential retrace, I mean potential fibs for a possible retrace that's also going to line up with major support and resistance area. So we're gonna see if we can find any interesting fib levels of this move. So I'm gonna use that low to this high. Got the 618 right here. I'm gonna be watching for a bounce here, right? So the 4-hour 50 EMA is definitely interesting. It's at the 618 right here. The daily, do we have any daily moving averages? I mean, this is, I mean, we're gonna have to wait for an actual retrace of this move to see if we can hit any of these fibs for a possible bounce. So wait for the actual retrace and then wait for the bounce before longing gold, I would say. All right, so we got silver here. Beautiful, moving very, very beautifully. So you see that I've drawn some fibs using this low to this high. You can also see that this green box right here is a very significant weekly level. We go down into the daily to see if we can get a possible retrace here. And I do think that this area right here would be a very, very nice area for a possible bounce. So when price comes into this green box right here, I'm going to look for a possible bounce. Now let's add a new fib from this low to this high, and as you can see, the 618 of this move is in perfect confluence of the 236 of the bigger move being this whole pump from this low to this high. So we got some very nice confluence in there, and we also have the 4-hour 55 EMA and the 50 EMA. So yeah, that's just a beautiful level for a possible bounce. I will be waiting for silver to retrace down to the 20 to 20.5 area. That's what I'm watching on silver, looking very good. And here's another interesting confluence I'm watching on Australian dollar versus JPY. So I've got some fibs drawn here using this low of this move to this high of this move, and we can see that we have the 50 EMA in perfect confluence with the 618 right here, the RLC. So I would be very interested in longing a bounce of that area. So what I would be looking for is a bullish 1-hour candle before entering, and the first take profit would be at the, let's see, the 21 EMA on the 4 hours. So the trade would look, I mean, depending on how the actual bounce and where it actually bounces, but I think, a trade like this would be very, very possible, right? Something like that is what I'm watching on this. So this would obviously be taking 50% off, moving stop to entry right here, and letting the rest run. All right, so euro versus the Canadian dollar is really testing a very strong, interesting support, resistance area right here. We're getting a breakout on the daily, but can we get a daily close above? That's the question, right? So let's see, we have the 4-hour. Looking at the 4-hour, we need to see an actual 4-hour open and close, but a daily close could do it as well. But I do really think that we need to see a 4-hour open and close above this red box resistance to long a possible rounded retest of that area. Take profits areas would obviously be, you know, this high area right here. I would love to long around retest on a daily to target, you know, this high, and using a stop loss to a trailing stop to, you know, basically trade it to this high here, right? Creating a higher high and a bullish market structure on the daily on euro versus the Canadian dollar. Alright, so I think that's actually it for today's market update. Was a bit longer than expected, but hopefully you guys have been you know, keeping yourself awake and not sleeping through my analysis here at the end. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and a comment if you like it. That would be very much appreciated. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, that's it. And I will release a new video tonight if I can find any interesting altcoin setups. All right, so that's it, guys, and see you guys next time. Take care.